Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about industrial real estate and logistics. Please welcome my next guest. Is Larry Callahan, CEO, and Peter Anderson, VP, both with Pattillo Industrial Real Estate. Now, Pattillo has been an industrial developer since 1950. They've developed millions of square feet of industrial buildings and master planned industrial parks. They also own thousands of acres of industrial land that is ready to go. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us here in Studio One.
Glad to be here,
Michael.
Well, we appreciate it. You know, we've just heard Ryan Severino talk about you guys must be doing the Snoopy dance. You know, everything's so great now. Is that really what's happening on the ground level for you guys? Is the market that hot?
Well, 2015 was a very good year. There's a lot of things that went well for us and for most people that are in the industrial business. The low interest rate environment, strong demand, low vacancy, and the start of rental rate increases, which is something that was absent from the industrial arena for quite some time. It has come back, and there's an environment where a lot of property continues to be absorbed, and it's reached a point where rental rates have gotten high enough to justify new construction. So you're seeing a lot of new construction for the first time really in years.
Give us a sample of a rental rate that we may have seen 5 years ago, and you might see for the same building doing a new lease today.
Well, I would say that generally speaking, rental rates, you're talking early 2009, if things were coming up for renewal in early 2009, you were seeing a 25% drop in the rates. And the rates vary from market to market, so you can't give one number, but if the going rental rate was $4, then suddenly it was $3, and there are a lot of people that were doing things less than that on a per square foot per year basis. So it's been a slow climb, and I will make one comment on that too, which is I'll talk about trees for a second. Trees, if they grow fast, tend to be a little bit brittle, but trees, if they grow slowly, tend to be stronger wood. And this recovery has been a slow climb, and it's got good solid foundations on it. It's not excess of speculation. It's not unreasonable exuberance on the part of tenants that's driving demand. It's a steady growth driven by just increases in population and increase in demand for products. So the part that a lot of people are talking about is how much of it is based on the internet and retail that has moved from being in-store to being online. And that is clearly something that's a major trend, and it's more evident in some markets than other markets. The online major distribution buildings for e-commerce are not located in every city in the country, but certain key markets are seeing a lot of it, and it is a major driver of activity.
Is that where your biggest increase of demand is, on these very large facilities?
Well, that has been in the entire market. I think that has been the biggest thing that's happened over the last few years.
And it's still growing?
It's still growing.
Yeah.
It's still growing strong, and it's a restructuring too, because there are certain markets that everybody's used to. The large industrial markets are Chicago and the Inland Empire out in Los Angeles and Dallas and Atlanta. Those are all big markets where activity is happening. But there are other markets that are being impacted by it also. For instance, Memphis and Louisville are two of the places that benefit greatly from e-commerce, because Memphis is where FedEx is based, and Louisville is where UPS does their national distribution.
So we've had this demand from these large users, especially from companies like Amazon and things. Are you starting to see some of the mid-size and smaller users come back around the country?
Well, I'll tell you, that was very slow coming back. It was, people were talking about activity, and they were saying, there was a 1 million square foot building here and another 1 million square foot building there. And what wasn't happening is there weren't users coming into 50,000 square feet or 100,000. Nobody was demanding a new 200,000 square foot building. So the market was very heavily skewed to very large buildings. I think we've reached the part of the market now where, if I can call it, more normal size buildings for the broader array of the industrial market are starting to be in demand. And we are in fact building buildings in that 200,000 square foot range. Some of ours that we're building are as much as 450,000, but I think there's been a long period of time where most of what was getting built was 800,000 or above. And not everybody needs to go into that. So e-commerce is certainly a large and growing part of the market, but it's not the whole market.
Yeah, so what types of industries and users are trending more active now? Are some of the companies that are involved in construction and housing getting more active? What do you see?
Well,
coming from the Florida market, I mean, the state of Florida industrial market is driven by residential construction and residential growth. And so those companies that support the residential industry, from carpet suppliers to building truss suppliers and windows and doors and hardware and the appliances that come into buildings. So that business had really evaporated in 2008, 9, and 10 and had retrenched back into a smaller footprint for distribution center networks. Well, as that growth has begun in Florida and throughout the Southeast, you've definitely seen those suppliers, those companies, some of them with new names, coming back into the market and occupying warehouses. I will say that they are acting a little bit more cautiously, as Larry said, and so it does feel like there's not the overexuberance that we felt maybe in 2004 and 5 and 6.
Yeah, and that's good news, I think. So what's important to tenants today? Is there anything trending that tenants are really looking for today?
We tend to talk about e-commerce, but it's really just the technology that has inventory management technology, whether it is for consumer products or whether it is for companies that serve the building products industry, et cetera, et cetera. But this technology and inventory management systems is allowing companies to manage their large number of SKUs, large number of products in a building, to increase the size of that building and increase that size both from a footprint and from a clear height perspective, so that their cubic usage of the space is greater. With that, it's had some impact on the footprint for distribution center networks for companies across the United States, with them tending to concentrate more into these large distribution centers that we read so much about and that are headline grabbing first. But I think if the economy continues to expand, we're seeing that second wave of distribution center network establishment into some of the smaller communities and a little bit smaller footprint buildings.
What ceiling heights are you seeing trending now? What's popular?
Well, started in the industry 30 years ago, and 24 clear was the height, but amazingly we're starting to see more of the 36 and into the 40-foot clear areas, which gets into fire protection issues and certainly your material handling issues from companies. So that's usually really for the buildings that are 400,000 square feet and larger, where tenants will take advantage of that kind of clear height.
Okay. Well, stay tuned. We'll have more on logistics and industrial real estate. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. And don't forget, if you like the show, like us on Facebook and connect with us on LinkedIn. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty, a great place to do business. Xceligent, information for the professionals. And Commercial Search, properties for sale and lease. To access these companies or for additional videos, podcasts, and articles, visit creshow.com.